Alright, my friend just dropped off this excavator bucket. I think it's on his Caterpillar excavator. It's like I think it's like a 10-ton machine. I haven't really ever seen it. But it's worn out. It's missing a few teeth. Alright, so there's a few things wrong with this bucket. And it's here to be welded. So you can see Alright, the main issue with this bucket's right here. The bottom of it's worn out. And it's pretty much, you know, it's got holes going through it. And it looks like someone's repaired it once before. It looks like this here was a plate someone welded on it. Maybe even right there and here. So this needs to be pounded back down. And he dropped off this plate here, and we'll use that to repair it. There you go. So we have our plate is 24 by 37. So you want to cut the 37 number down to 27 and a half probably?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's make this 27.5, and then it's going to be 24 this way. So what's that give us? Want to do something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
And we'll send it right to here?
Yep.
And then it ends up
here.
Right about there, which the bucket's no longer not worn out there.
Yep.
Now you lost it. A little less. How about you?
Oh, it looks pretty good there.
I think we should weld it right here in the middle.
Okay.
Make sure it's in all the way, because then we can bend it down.
It doesn't help with the bucket.
Yeah, no, we got to do a lot of hammering and stuff. Hopefully it actually does it. All right, you good?
Yep.
All right, now there's a few cracks on this bucket. I'm gonna fill those in there.
Parts are made in China, but it's a Japanese model cat.
And slide it down. Lift up a little, you got tension on it. No wind. Should I go all the way with it, or?
Yeah, because I gotta find a. Oh, you're good there. Where's that bolt? Rotate it, send it back in a little bit.
me see how that boom works. Someone suggested to me that I should talk more about the tools that I use when I do repair videos like this. So let me talk about the welding equipment I used in this video. So the main welder I use, this is a Miller-Matic 251. This is a MIG welder. So it uses these rolls of wire. And it feeds it out this gun here, and then you can just kind of weld continuously with this thing. And this is a very nice welder. This welder does a really good job. It's easy to use. It's fast. You can weld really thick metal with it. It's a little pricey to run, not terrible. The gas is a little expensive. And these, this is a great welder, but this is a little bit of an investment if you're looking to get into welding. You generally can't find these used. And so a lot of times you just got to buy a new one. I think these are around, for something comparable to this, maybe around $3,000. I'll try to put links in the video description of where to buy a lot of these tools. So very popular and very cheap cutting tools, an angle grinder. This is a 4.5-inch grinder. I think these are only like 30 bucks. This is a grinding wheel on it for grinding, but then you can put a thin one on it for cutting. And this could have cut that metal plate just fine. It would have been a little slower than the torch, but these are great. Definitely wear safety glasses and hearing protection when you use these. For the welding helmet, I use this Cobalt auto darkening one. The auto darkening ones are nice, but I don't mind the other ones either. But if you get one, make sure you get a good one, because the cheap auto darkening ones don't really seem to work. So this is a cutting torch set. So it uses this is oxygen in this bottle, and this is acetylene. And you got your regulators, your hose, and then your torch. This is a Smith torch. And these are good. You can heat stuff up, and it's good for cutting metal. I use this mostly for like heating up bolts and stuff when you need to get them out, or cutting up. If you're cutting up garbage, this works really well. We use this to cut that plate in that video, but the plasma cutter would have done a much nicer job. This is great when there's no electric on the site where you're working at, because it's just these two tanks. This is another welder. This is a 110 MIG welder. So I'll show you the difference in the cords. So this is a standard household outlet. Should be a 20 amp outlet, and this is a 220 volt 50 amp plug. So that's kind of a turn off for a lot of people to get that bigger machine, because they won't have that plug. So that's why this is nice. This is good. You couldn't have really done that bucket job with this. I mean, you could have, but it wouldn't. It would have taken a long time, and it wouldn't have gotten the penetration in the metal. It's just not meant to weld metal that thick. But this works the same way. Feeds out wire. And I have this set up to use, I have a shielded wire in this, so you don't need any gas. But you can use unshielded wire, and this has the gas hookup as well. And the gas makes a cleaner weld, but it's pricier, and you can't weld as thick, which certainly isn't a problem with that big Miller. But this welder, that's an issue. So I just am leaving this with the shielded wire in it. Another popular type of welder is a welder generator. When my friend initially asked me about fixing his bucket, he asked if I had one of these, because this is nice. This is a stick welder, and it has this gasoline motor on it. And you don't need any power for this. It's just you start up this engine, and that's what makes the power. And it also has outlets on it for running power tools. But I used this a lot when I was welding my building together because I didn't have any electric here, so this was great to do that. You know, you put nice long leads on it. Alright, so this is a stick welder, and it uses these stick electrodes to do the welding. So pretty much you clamp this in a wire, and then it slowly gets shorter as you're working with it. And you know, this works well. You know, this could have fixed that bucket no problem. It would have been a little slower, but it would have done it. And yeah, these are great. And you know, these are a little pricey new, but they're not terrible. And you can often find these used, and you can get them really cheap if you get a broken one. Because there's plenty of broken ones usually for sale. Most of the time it's an issue with the gasoline motor, which is easy to fix. So, I mean, I even had, someone gave me this one because they said it needed a motor, and it didn't end up needing a motor, but it needed a ton of work. But I've got it, I fixed it, and I've used it quite a bit since I got it. And when I got it, so I built this trailer to go with it too. So this is a 4x8, and it's real nice because you can keep all your welding supplies right in the trailer. And I put nice big tires on it, and you can bring this to a job site and do all the welding. Another popular type of welder is these Lincoln stick welders. So it's the same thing. It uses a stick electrode. You put it in there, and you use this, and this eventually gets shorter as you're working with it. These are great because these are very cheap to buy. You know, the AC 225, they're only $300 brand new, and you can usually find them used, no problem, for like 80 or $100. And I've never seen one of these stop working. This is the DC version, which is better. The DC does a nicer job. These are a little more money. I think these are like $600 new. You know, so this is great because they're cheap. A lot of the turnoff that scares a lot of people though is it takes this, the same as the plasma cutter and the same as the other welder, takes the 50 amp 220 volt outlet. So a lot of people won't have that in their house. So that's. But this welder could have fixed that bucket no problem. It would have been a little slower than that MIG welder, but it would have done it. So, you know, if you're looking to get into welding, you know, the 110 machines don't really have the power to do like, you know, working on heavy equipment welding material that's like over a 1/4 inch thick or so. So, you know, something like this is great if you don't want to spend a lot of money. You know, you just got to have that plug, that's all. Alright, well this kind of covers the few tools I used in this video to fix that bucket. So, I don't know if anyone has any other welding questions, you know, just ask in the comments. I could make, you know, more videos talking about welders and how to get started welding, but I'm sure there's a ton of other people that probably already talked about that in YouTube videos, so, you know, I don't really feel like it's totally necessary for me to do it, but